Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to Level-Headed News. I'm your host, Brenda. Got a couple articles to bring you up to date on this OSU terrorist attack, knife attack thing that went on the other day. So I'll go ahead and bring them to you. The first one is off of Liberty Writers News. It says, Trump just exposed the one sick fact about Ohio State attack that most media doesn't want you to know. Pretty much everyone in America at this point knows about the insane attacker who ran over and stabbed 13 people at Ohio State University. Many of us even know that Abdul Artan was a Somali refugee. Hell, they're now even suggesting that it may have been ISIS inspired. However, there's one huge fact that they are all either ignoring or bearing. ISIS claimed responsibility for it. And the guy who made this huge revelation public knowledge, why, our very own President Trump, of course. Hell, he even said that if it was up to him, this little terror lover would have never been in our country. And there's a tweet here that says ISIS is taking credit for the terrible stabbing attack at the Ohio State University by a Somali refugee who should not have been in our country. So sadly, hiding stories like this is a clear tactic of the mainstream media. You see, if you dig through their sites, you can usually find these stories, but for some reason, they almost never make it to the front page, instead opting for stories like FBI said attack may have been ISIS inspired, or say the Orlando shooter killed people because he was gay and crazy, but not because of ISIS. By the way, I have plenty of gay friends who have never been on a shooting rampage. Look, folks, the truth is that most of the attacks by radical Islamists in the last few years have been orchestrated by ISIS using lone wolf attackers. However, if we want people to actually be aware of these facts, it's up to us to share the information like this with everyone you know. Otherwise, the bad guys will win. The URL to this article is in the description of this video. If you want to pull it up and take a look at it, there's multiple pages to it. You can go all through that on your own. I have for you is off of BizPack Review, and it says OSU terrorist taught he was oppressed 2 weeks before attack in diversity class. It says Ohio State University OSU attacker Abdul Artan was enrolled in a class focused on diversity and microaggressions and was taught that Muslims were an oppressed minority just 2 weeks before his car and knife assault on his fellow students. For the fall term at OSU, Artan was taking a class titled Crossing Identity Boundaries, offered by OSU's Higher Education and Student Affairs program and Education Department. The class in question is dedicated to exploring issues of diversity and inequality, as well as their personal and social responsibility for building more just university and society. Look at the class's syllabus reveals that much of it is simply a catalog of alleged oppression in American society. Different class days focused on topics like white privilege and racism, and syllabus is replete with reading assignments like Dragon Ladies, Snow Queens, and Asian American Dykes, reflection on race and sexuality. In fact, just 2 weeks before Artan's rampage, the class focused on a topic of religious oppression, with particular focus on the alleged oppression of Muslims. Reading from the November 16 class includes creating identity safe spaces on college campuses for Muslim students, while the November 17th discussion on unpacking religious oppression, the reading Christian privilege, breaking a sacred taboo. In a Facebook post made just minutes before his rampage, Artan cited violence and oppression toward Muslims around the world as the reason for his attack. Another major component of the class was a topic of microaggressions, the small daily indignities that allegedly weigh down women and minorities in the U.S. and cause them to be less happy and successful. In fact, according to the syllabus, Artan was supposed to deliver a group presentation and paper on microaggressions the very week of his rampage. A photo posted by a classmate of Artan showed that he was in a group set to present December the 2nd. Examples of microaggressions using at least 3 different types of social media: Yik Yak, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, Pinterest. The class syllabus says for the assignment, explain who the target of the microaggression is and why your group believes it is an example of a negative remark. Provide an example of how you might respond to such comment. Class were to be graded on the quality of microaggression chosen along with quality of their response. Ironically, one of the stated goals of the class is that students will understand and have an appreciation for individual different from themselves.